From the Center for the Study and Teaching of Writing, this is Writers Talk. I'm Doug Dangler. The Central and Southern Ohio Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators meets monthly at the Upper Arlington Library. They are the local chapter of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, a group that was started in Los Angeles in 1971. It is the only professional organization specifically for those individuals working in the fields of children's literature, magazines, film, television, and multimedia. It's also the largest children's literature organization in the world. At monthly meetings, group members discuss current business and events, welcome a guest speaker, and critique each other's work. Susan Bradley is the SCBWI advisor to this group. Welcome, Susan, to Writers Talk.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. What kind of services do you provide to local writers and illustrators? What can they expect when they come to some of your meetings?
Well, what we do on a monthly basis is we try to get a speaker that'll help them with their craft, which means to help them become better writers, whether it's working on plot, creating suspense, creating books from start to finish, writing dialogue. It could be any of those. And then we also have speakers that help us from a business perspective, how to do online promotions, how to get the word out about your book, school visits, royalties, payments, querying, anything like that.
Okay. Well, tell me about your upcoming conference. It's going to be in October, right?
October 3rd. It's going to be at the University Plaza Hotel here in Columbus. It is the first time we've put on a conference in our area.
Okay.
We have a sister branch in Northern Ohio that's been putting on a conference for a number of years, so this is our first one, and we're really excited about it.
How is it different from the national conference? What are you going to be doing differently here?
We have two national conferences, and them themselves are very different in nature. We have one in New York, and then we have one in Los Angeles. What we try to do is kind of a subset of what's offered there. We have some agents and editors coming in from New York, and our agent this year is coming in from Arizona. So we do try to get national speakers as well, and then plus we're also celebrating our Ohio authors.
Okay.
And we're having them as speakers as well.
Who are some of your Ohio authors that are coming
We're
in?
having Cinda Chima, who is a New York Times bestseller fantasy writer. Then we're having Shelley Pearsall and Tracy Von Zimmer,
Okay.
are our local authors.
Okay. Who can attend one of these conferences? Is it open to the public or just to the society members?
It is. It's actually open to everybody. There is a discounted price for our members. And then we also are offering some additional workshops with our literary agent.
Okay.
And that's something that kind of mirrors what we do in Los Angeles in our national.
All right. How does one become a member of the SBCWI? It's a long acronym you've got there.
It's a very long acronym. It's a very hard one, too.
Okay.
All you do is there's a couple of different ways. You can write in, you can join online. There's several benefits to being a member of our national organization. The nice is that there's not a separate fee you're due to join the local. Once you're a member of the national group, you're automatically a member of the local group.
Okay.
And then if you travel around for your job, you can attend any one that you want.
How many conferences do they have a year? Is it like 2 in every state, or just depends on the state?
It depends on the state, and of course nowadays, with the funding and what they can get. But we do like to have, each region likes to have at least one event. Maybe not so much a conference, but even if it's a workshop
Okay.
or anything like that.
What kind of writers or illustrators do you have in the group? What is it, the makeup of your chapter?
It is all over the place. We have picture book writers from the smallest sense of, if you've seen book boards, where they just have 1 or 2 words on a page.
Mm-hmm.
And those are highly illustrated as well. So we have very talented illustrators as well. And then you have high-end literary young adult. One of our members, and she was a speaker, Lisa Klein, has rewritten young adult books with a Shakespearean twist. So they can range from anything, fantasy, mystery, suspense.
Does that mean it's based on a Shakespeare play? Or okay.
Right.
All right, it's not just everybody dies at the end like Hamlet.
No, she's kind of written Hamlet from Ophelia's point of view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That only gives you like half of Hamlet, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be,
Yeah.
and then I got too close to the river as part of the end of it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's got a very nice twist in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are the trends in local writing or illustrating that you see that have ties in your local community?
One of the things that, it's funny because with the economy, you would think that our conferences would be less attended, but they're actually more attended.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the basis of that is the fact that people have wanted to pursue writing, and now we're seeing it as a possible second income.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been really kind of pushing to try to get educated. There is a process, and it is important to kind of educate yourself about the process of writing a book and trying to get it to publication before you just kind of go out into the world and send out your book.
Okay. So besides the monetary angle, and I know that children's book and young adult literature in particular is a pretty hot commodity right now. Turns out that people have more affection for vampires than I would have thought. But what other things do you find are drawing people to do this kind of writing instead of writing the great American novel?
I think it's just whatever you're passionate about. I think if you talk to writers, they're extremely creative, very innovative people, and they've always had that story within, based on something that's happened to them, something that's happened to a friend, and now is the time, I think, that they're coming together to try to write that story.
Okay. Are there age groups you see, certain age groups? Do you get more people that maybe have retired and want to try a second career, or is it spread across?
I would say it's actually, our demographic is probably a little younger than the retiree, and highly more geared towards women.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Not sure. It depends on the genre. The mystery genre, for example, is very male-oriented. But children's writers, in at least our group, our demographic, is more women.
Okay. Yeah. Are there groups that are publishing within your chapter that you've helped to get published that you can identify as, oh, that's one that we really put out there and helped get published?
No, I just took over as regional advisor in January.
Okay.
So our published authors have been published for quite some time. Okay. So what we're trying to do now, me and my ARA, our assistant regional advisor, is to try to get that second generation out there. Okay. And by having our monthly meetings to help them work on their craft, by having the critiques for the works that they have done, by having a conference where their work can get in front of an agent editor, we're hoping in the next couple years or so we'll have the next generation of published authors.
What kind of critiques do you see coming out a lot? Do you see any common trends in the critiques that you've participated in, like people are writing over the heads of the kids or under expectations for children's literature?
I think writing for children is a lot harder than people give it credit for. I think people say, oh, I can write a picture book, it's 250 words. And picture books is actually the hardest thing to write.
Why is that?
Because each word has to mean something. There's a rhyme and there's a lyric to writing a picture book. Writing for teens and capturing just not the drama, but just that angst of teenage, it's hard to do when you're an adult, to really put yourself back there. So I think a lot of things that you see is you trying to extract your adult self from your children writing and make it more like a child is speaking to you when you read it.
Do you recommend listening to a lot of angsty music, a lot of emo music? Is that one of the
a lot of teen music, yeah. And just, we call it eavesdropping.
Britney Spears makes me kind of angsty.
Yeah,
you know, just,
a little bit too, yeah.
So eavesdropping, so you're going to schools, listening?
Yeah, if you go to Easton, you can sit there.
And
you're watching all kinds. Yeah, just listen, pay attention to especially the age group that you're trying to capture.
Okay. Yeah. So, what age group do you prefer to work with? What have you? Do you have a specific area that you focus on?
I write young adult mysteries. Okay. So a young adult is defined as a 12 to 18-year-old.
Okay.
And I write towards the older YA, so 16 to 18 is my age group that I like to write for.
What made you choose that age group?
I think it's based just personally on me. I love mysteries. I've always loved mysteries, and especially in my later teen years, I was just obsessed with writing mysteries. And the only thing they had at that time were adult mysteries. You didn't really have YA when I was growing up. You had Judy Blume and Nancy Drew, but that was really about
the
it.
Hardy Boys didn't make it onto your plate?
Yeah, no, it was all Nancy Drew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.